guys, welcome to another Maintenance Monday. On this Maintenance Monday, we won't have a lot of maintenance, but we will have a lot of information. We're going over customs and immigration.
Right, that's one of the more frequent questions we get is how to check into the countries and how do we get the dogs in. So we're going to kind of go over some of that information in this short little video.
Okay, so it's not really related to customs and immigration, but I figured we should get it out of the way. The U.S. Coast Guard can board your vessel at any time they want without any reason.
Yeah, the Revenue Service Act of 1790 gave the Coast Guard the powers to board your vessel anytime, day or night, anywhere. So on a lake, on the ocean, if you're American flag vessel, they can board your vessel anytime. They do not need a warrant. It was designed for stopping bootleggers back in the day, and illegal smuggling and all that. But they can use it anytime they want. We haven't had any first-hand real experience with that, except once. We were sailing at night, and the Coast Guard came pretty close to us with their lights off. We had no idea they were there. All of a sudden, lit us up with their lights. Were checking us out. I guess they liked what they saw and didn't say anything, and they moved on. At least I'm assuming it was the Coast Guard. It could have been pirates. I don't know.
We're not smugglers. When it comes to clearing in the United States, you have to have a customs decal.
That's right. It costs about $26.50. It's really easy to get, and you can get it online, and we'll show you how here.
The easiest way to get to the decal website is just search for DTOPS in Google, and that'll take you right to it. It's the first link at the top because the website's fairly long and complicated there. So just click there. And you are a boat, so you come down here to private vessel. Brings you down to this portion right here. You'll want to get a new user, more than likely. You click there, and it'll ask you if you consent. Yes, you do. Basically, I just sign my life away, and you'll do a new user sign up. They'll ask for your boat information and everything, and you pay $26.50, and they will send you a decal in the mail.
When it comes to clearing in the United States, there's generally 3 ways that can happen.
1, when you get to any port of entry, you can call customs and they'll come to your vessel. We'll add in the show notes, we'll add all the phone numbers and links and everything for information. They'll come to your vessel and check out all your documentation.
And the second way is you can actually call the customs and enforcement, and sometimes they will just give you a clearance number. If you've checked in there before and they know the boat, it's real easy. They'll just say, okay, here's your clearance number, you're free to go. The other way they'll do that, the final way, is sometimes they'll require you to come to them. So you leave the boat wherever it is, and like for instance, last time I did that clearing into Puerto Rico in Aguadilla, I had to leave the boat at anchor, and I was lucky enough to have a nice Puerto Rican guy give me a ride to the airport, and I cleared in at the airport. So there's 3 different ways you can do that there. And it's really up to Customs and Border Enforcement, whichever way it happens.
Yeah. So when it comes to clearing in foreign countries, they're normally the same, but there are a few differences, so make sure you call as well.
Another really useful tool is Noonsite.com. You can get all the information about entry requirements for other countries and everything. Just click on countries, it'll take you to a list. You can get them separated by region. For this, we'll just check the Bahamas and bring that up. And it gives you facts about the island, security, and then all the different islands over here. And then probably the most, probably the information that's the best to know here is the formalities. You just click on clearance, and it gives you, well, once it comes up, all the entry fees and cruising permits and all requirements for that, fishing permits. It gives you all the requirements for clearing in and clearing out, immigration, and then for us, what's really helpful, you scroll all the way down to the bottom, and it's got pet information. So here, you need to send a request for a permit to this address, and it says all the requirements that you need to do. It has to be 6 months age and everything, and it gives you all the information on how to do that. So it's a pretty helpful little tool.
Most of the time what you do when you get into a foreign country is you anchor or go to the marina at a port of entry. Make sure it's port of entry. And then the captain, only the captain, will take everybody's documents, all their passports and everything, and go to the customs office and fill out all the paperwork, pay the cruising fee if it's required, pay the entry fee if it's required, and you're on your way. It's really generally pretty simple. And unlike the United States, when you leave the United States, you just leave. Now, when you leave, like the Bahamas or the BVI, you actually have to clear out too. So don't forget that.
There are a few gotchas when clearing into the United States that a lot of people miss.
Right, a lot of people think that when you clear into the U.S. Virgin Islands, then, because it is U.S. territory, that you're cleared into the rest of the United States. That's not true. Once you clear into, you do have to clear into St. Thomas or St. John. But if you go from the U.S. Virgin Islands to Puerto Rico or Culebra or any of the Spanish Virgin Islands, you then have to check in there in Puerto Rico as well. So a lot of people think just because it's the U.S. territory that it's good for the rest of the U.S. That's not true. It's a $10,000 fine if you get caught missing that. So
don't do it.
Don't do that, exactly. Also, another one that a lot of people miss is when traveling with foreign citizens. So say you were to pick up someone in the BVI and then sail to the United States or the U.S. Virgin Islands. Well, if that person is from Europe, they don't need a visa, so you would think it's okay to come in with them. That's not true. If you pick up a foreign citizen in the British Virgin Islands and sail to the United States with them, they will be fined $600 for not properly clearing into the country. And so you don't want to do, and that's per person, and so you don't want to do that. Basically, when you come in with an airline or on some kind of commercial transportation, that airline is guaranteeing that if you overstay your visa or you're not leaving, that they will deport you on one of their airplanes. When you come in on a private vessel, there is no guarantee for that, so the United States is going to fine you $600 for not doing that. Basically, that way they get money if they need to pay for you to be deported. So the way around that, it's pretty easy. So if you want to pick somebody up in the BVI and you want to sail with them to the United States, you hang out in the BVI with them and then send them on the ferry. It's a commercial ferry. They come over to St. Thomas or St. John, clear in through customs, and then you can pick them up and keep on going through the rest of the United States.
And it's pretty inexpensive.
Yeah, it's like $30, $40 to take a ferry over, and you clear in. It's no big deal. It's just kind of a way around that. So keep that in mind when you're traveling with foreign citizens on your boat. All right, puppy dogs. So a lot of people ask us how do we get the dogs in most places. It can be a little tricky, but in most cases it's not too hard.
So when it comes to entering in the United States, depending on which country you're coming from, typically all you need is current records of your health certificates and vaccinations.
Yeah, and you can find all that information on Noonsite as well under clearance and formalities. There's a little section for pets for each country that you're going to. For example, in the Bahamas, we had to send them beforehand a health certificate with their vaccination records and a money order for the permits. And when we checked, and they sent us back the permit, and then when we came in to clear in with them, it was no big deal. They hardly even looked at the paperwork. Same with the BVI. You have to send them the records ahead of time with a health certificate. It was really easy. Once you get down island a little bit, if you head down further south in the Caribbean, all the former French colonies or the current French territories, they're super easy to get into. You just bring in, you don't even have to get a permit ahead of time. You just get their health certificate and their vaccination records. You go clear in with them, pay the little fee, it's fine. All the former Dutch or British colonies down island are extremely difficult to get your dogs into. A lot of times they'll require a rabies test, multiple rabies tests, and then they just make it very difficult to do. So that's why we kind of skipped all those.
Yeah.
Anyway, hey, we wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, it's worth it. Luckily, it's not too time consuming.
It's fairly time consuming, but they're worth it. All right, they're hot. We can turn some fans on. All right, well, thank you for watching another episode of Maintenance Monday. Hopefully this was informative, and we'll see you on Thursday. We have a new video coming out, so check that out. And we do a live feed every Sunday, and we might have some real exciting news coming soon about a possible new boat, so stay tuned.
Bye, guys.
If you found the information in this video helpful, please click like and subscribe, and check out sailingdoodles.com.